Hello, welcome to Direct Mail Monday, December 4th, 2017. Steve Sipress here, and I am diving into Steve's mailbox today to share a few pieces that I received last week in the mail. Here we go. Smallest one, top of the pile. It is my ongoing crusade to get bombarded as many times as possible, in as many ways as possible, by AARP for my $12 or $10 or $15 annual membership renewal. I have shared this. If you're following along, forgot to share the Rhino of the Day, where we usually start. Rhino of the Day is, and I've been away for a few days, so we haven't had one. Maybe that's why I forget, but enough of the excuses. It is this stamp. There it is, this Rhino stamp. And not as easy to see on that side, so they conveniently print on the other side what it will look like, because it looks like I never used this. Otherwise, you'd see some remnants of ink. So I bought it, added it to the collection, never stamped anything with it. Julia's here. Jeff Decora is here. Yes, it is just you. And Brian is here as well. And we'll see if more people join us for Direct Mail Monday. So that's it. And so we have the stamp. And, of course, the stamp is relative to it being Direct Mail Monday. See that? Stamp, mail. See what I did there? Okay, genius. So we'll get right back to it. Now this piece, of course, did not have a stamp. It is a renewal notice, yet another. If you've been following along, I've shared plenty of these for my $10 or $12 or $15 a year membership, which I refuse to renew until the absolute last second, or maybe I think I'll even go beyond. I think I'll not renew, and then I'll get into the, hey, you didn't renew, we want you back campaign. So let's see how that goes. So I might miss one issue of the magazine that I never read. And so AARP, respond immediately, like they've been saying for months. Tough to read on the reverse here. Normally I can use my laptop camera for this Direct Mail Monday, and you can read everything properly forwards. But the microphone is not working properly. The last time I recorded a video on a Facebook Live video on the laptop, I got all kinds of messages, people telling me the sound is not coming good. I played it back, the sound was terrible. My Yeti microphone, I do have the beautiful, professional microphone here, but for some reason it used to be working with the Facebook Live, and now for some reason it stopped working. I can't get it to work with the Facebook Live, and so I got to use the regular mic of the laptop, and it's terrible. So here I am, unfortunately, sharing Direct Mail on my iPad camera, which means you see it in the reverse. So I'll just read it to you. This is coming to us and saying respond immediately to renew your membership. And but we're not going to. And so if I did open it, let's just see what's inside, since they told me I got to respond immediately. Oh, and to take advantage of a special reduced membership rate, whatever that means. And so here we go. We have reduced rates, I guess. That 5 years for $49. So there's the $10, 1 year for $15, and so forth. And so I guess that's the reduced membership fee that I get. Well, but that's it. There's no, there is a letter. Of course, what am I thinking? So here's a letter. Special offer, reduced rates when you renew today on the top. So that's very good. So they've got red on the envelope on the outside. Very smart. Got my attention. Red on the top of the letter. Same kind of stamp with a special offer. You still have time. It hasn't expired yet. Blah, blah, blah. Here's some bullet points with the benefits you'll get from renewing. We look forward to your renewal form. And here's what we're fighting against. Now, see, that my issue with ARP is I'm not retired. So many of the causes that they're passionate about are causes that hurt small business owners and people that are still working. Or if not hurt, well, some do hurt. But if not, they're at least neutral. They're nothing I need to fight for. I recognize and I respect the fact that ARP fights and lobbies and spends millions of dollars advocating for causes to help people that are no longer producing anything of value to society and getting money back in return, which is the very definition of a business owner. However, they're fighting against things that will help the economy and will help the country get out of being broke and will help business. And so here they're going to tell me, as if it's a benefit, that they're fighting against age discrimination in the workplace. It doesn't exist that I know of in small business. And protecting your consumer rights. again, it's a silly issue. Consumers can protect themselves by not buying whatever they don't want to buy. And while leading the charge in ensuring a strong Social Security system and fair Medicare benefits, two things that, of course, do not affect me, as I am not getting Social Security or Medicare. Neither will I get either one, likely, or whatever. Anyway, so there goes AARP. Not convinced. And those two things, by the way, violate the rule. It is not specific to direct mail, but it's a general rule of marketing not to do anything that will repel or stop people from buying. So when they start telling me causes, I know that they're in favor of something that hurts me as a small business owner. They're hurting my renewal, aren't they? Now I know it's still $10. Hey, Patricia's here. Patricia, yeah, great point. So Patricia says, I get mail from AARP too, and I'm not even 50. Great point. So that is very germane to direct mail. So when you get your direct mail list, AARP will not just get a list. Their membership requires you to be 50 and up. They will start getting a list of people that are nearing the age of 50. I don't know what the specific number is, but I started, and I think millions of people must get direct mail from AARP before we reach the age of 50, so that they're starting to let you know, hey, pretty soon you'll be able to join. I bet you can't wait. This will ease the pain. This is softening the beachhead. Like in war, not that I've been in one, the air attack will come in and bomb the beach and spread chaos and smoke and debris and knock out a couple of gun turrets and soften that beachhead so the troops that are coming onto Omaha Island that are all going to get slaughtered anyway, they don't get as slaughtered. So to make way for your direct mail campaign, you do a pre-campaign. So Patricia, that's what you're receiving. And Darren is here. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. So Patricia, you're receiving kind of the warm-up campaign to soften the beachhead to prepare you when you do start getting the, hey, now you can join campaign from AARP. You will be familiar with them. You'll like them. You'll trust them. You'll be aware of them. And they'll be able to say things like, hey, you've heard of us. You know what we do. We've been telling you for months and months. Maybe they even send you a free issue of the magazine or something. And here's your chance. Now you get to join. There you go. So that's what they're doing there. So thank you for the great point. Let's move on to piece number 2. And I'll share another one because I noticed a label of my magazine that I get that I never read it expires sometime in December. So we've got at least another month to go. I'm getting emails. Let's see if I get a phone call. Let's see how they ramp up as it gets closer to the deadline, they're going to start ramping up the rhetoric of like, hey, now you're no more like, hey, you might have renewed and we missed it, or hey, you might have just forgot to do it. It's going to get more and more urgent. And that's a direct mail tip. It'll get more and more urgent as it gets closer to the deadline. Donna is here. Great seeing you. Happy birthday, Donna. I just celebrated a birthday last week. So, next piece. Now this one, how cool is this? This one came mistakenly. It is addressed to Black Rock Painting, LLC at my address. So whoever was at my address before me is a painting company, it appears, because it says, welcome to Sherwin-Williams. So I assume the Black Rock Painting somehow was certified or was a distributor of, or at least used, or something to do with being a part of Sherwin-Williams. So this is not a direct mail piece directed at me, or I believe at any other prospect. It is kind of a welcome letter. So there you go. You want to use direct mail to send handwritten thank you notes. I just went through a couple today that were down on the kitchen counter because that's where we get the mail. I open it up, I put it down there. And my beautiful wife, Michelle, while I was away for 4 days at a business conference, evidently packed up that stuff and put it up on my desk. So I got a bunch of thank you cards up here. I know she decorated the house all crazy for Christmas. I'll be showing that in upcoming live videos. The house is beautiful, smells nice, all that kind of stuff. So my thank you letters came up here. So you definitely want to use direct mail for thank you notes. Even you make online sales, you thank them offline. That's just what you do. A thank you text or a thank you email. Is that how you would, thank somebody for a wedding gift or something like that? No, of course not. Still use the handwritten direct mail thank you card. So that's what this is. Not handwritten, so it loses there. No live stamp, loses there. But at least they are welcoming, sending a welcoming thing. And so I'll open it. It's got a tab. So for you direct mailers, actually, does it have a tab? Yeah, so here it doesn't have a tab. It is sealed with the glue. Right, so it has this glue that comes off. So this piece of glue that goes on the corner. It's not put on by hand, of course, when you're Sherwin-Williams. And so I remove that, and this opens up to a quad fold piece. So it's a 4-page plus 2 pages on the back plus the front and back. So they got all kinds of pages here to welcome me and probably share all kinds of good reasons why I congratulate me that I'm going to get discounts. I'm going to get pro buy sales and specials because I'm a pro. And I can go to this website, sherwinwilliams.com/pro. So if you're out there looking to do some painting, maybe you can go there to sherwinwilliams.pro and get a discount on ordering paint, even though you do it yourself. Don't tell them I said that. But likely not. You probably got to be registered as a painter. Oh, and there's what we call a bounce back. The discount coupon that comes when you send something out, like, hey, here's your pizza and here's a coupon for your next one. Or here's your dry cleaning and here's a coupon for the next one, so they can win you as a loyal customer. So maybe this company had just signed up with Sherwin-Williams to use Sherwin-Williams paint, but Sherwin-Williams recognizes that he might have signed up with 5 other paints that I don't know the brands of Behr, and I don't know other brands of paints other than walking by them in a Home Depot or working with painting contractors that I work with a lot of. So they don't want him to order Behr or any other paints. They want him to order Sherwin-Williams, so they're going to give a discount of 20% off, $10 off a $50 order to get him started using Sherwin-Williams paint. So very smart welcome mailer there from Sherwin-Williams. We want to thank your new customers, prospects, patients, even if they haven't spent anything. It's likely that he just signed up somewhere, hadn't spent a penny. Sherwin-Williams said, now even better. He hasn't, or he or she who signed up for this, BlackRock Painting LLC, had not spent a penny with us, but we are going to show her that even though she didn't spend a penny with us, look what we did. We mailed this whole thing, and we invested $1 into you at their rate of printing for 10,000 or 100,000 of these. You know, it's pennies to print these things up. 50 cents of the postage, 49, whatever. So, you know, they invested $1, but of course, feels like a lot more than $1. And of course, it costs money to produce the thing and put it together. But the marginal cost, once it's produced, is $1 a piece. But still, they're showing that, hey, I know you signed up free with everybody else, and maybe everybody else didn't send them anything. Maybe they got an email welcome, or, you know, that cost nothing. Sherwin-Williams says, look how much we care about you by sending direct mail, because that's what you say to prospects, customers, associates, people that refer you. When you send direct mail, cause it costs money. That's the beauty of this online stuff. People that go to only online, great, I hope everybody does, because the beauty of that is people appreciate more when you use direct mail. 10, 15 years ago, it was like, of course they send me a thank you card in the mail. That's all there is. But once email came along, now you get to stand out just by doing what's normal, which is send them a darn thank you card in the mail. Okay, let's move on. Next is this newsletter I received. My good friend and excellent, phenomenal marketer, Dr. David Phelps, who was a dentist, and he put systems into place in his dentist practice so that he didn't have to go into work. And after he didn't go into the place for a year and it made more money than it ever made before, he packaged that up and he starts teaching other dentists and selling them systems and teaching them how to put systems into place. And he calls it David's Path to Freedom. So that's the newsletter. And I recognize it because it came with a new print. He's always very smart. I've shown this before on Direct Mail Monday. He prints up on the outside in color. Even though this is my newsletter that I get all the time, it could just say, here's your newsletter. I got another one. Threw in the trash. I won't show you who it's from, but this is a newsletter I get all the time from this person. It just went right in the trash. Unopened, still sealed. The only opening you're seeing is right here because to show you it's sealed. Right in the trash. I'm like, I know what's in there. It's that crappy newsletter. That's all. It's a financial investment newsletter, and it's all about your 401k, and here's how to save money. And it's all about him and his business. Nothing about anything I'd be interested other than that, so I have no reason to open it. And it doesn't help. Nothing on the front or the back to tell me, man, you should open this. And it's a shame because it's $1.19 postage plus the envelope plus the printing of whatever newsletter's in here. A couple of bucks right in the trash. But this one, David Phelps recognizes that if he just did the same thing, brown paper envelope, nothing, no live stamp, no whatever, and no reason why. On the back, he's got reasons to open it. Look at this. I know you can't read it because it's in reverse, but secrets to finding the right deals inside the exclusive elite mastermind. Do you take mental showers So mental shower, ooh, that's not just about him and his systems. That sounds like a good attitude thing that maybe I ought to check it out. And, you know, he's got dates of his upcoming mastermind dates because I'm in his mastermind. I get the mastermind dates. Which one should I attend? So I don't even have to open it to get value. But then I open it up, and inside is the newsletter, right? And so I can go over the newsletter in another Facebook Live video, but he's got the 8-page, it's an 8-page full color newsletter in there, but I'm just showing the envelope. I recognized it, and it stood out because it's in a brown paper envelope, whereas in the past it's always been, at least as long as I've been getting it, in this white envelope with a different front panel graphic, right? So similar. There's David, and there's the Path to Freedom, and there's David's Path to Freedom with a different photo and a different look, and on a white envelope, same thing on the back. He still tells you why you should open this up, what's inside, 7 bullet points. But it caught my eye because there was a change. So that's the lesson for this one. Hey, Coach is here, and Jonathan Eric Medina, great seeing you. I am doing push-ups, just thinking about you. Just kidding. Anyway, David, Jonathan just got Joe Theismann to stand on his back at this event I was at the other day. You get a photo with the celebrity. Jonathan asked him, and Joe agreed. Joe's such a super guy. He agreed. Joe Theismann stood on Jonathan's back while Jonathan did a push-up, and then he put the video on Facebook that I watched today, and it brought back a chuckle and a great memory that I will always cherish. That was hilarious. And then he went asking all the celebrities to do that, and a few of them wouldn't. Famously, Rudy Rudiger did not. What was up with that? Rudy wouldn't do it. And Rudy gave Jonathan a great answer, by the way. Jonathan was like, hey, will you hoo-ha? No. Okay, that's it. I'm like, but see, I told him, I said he was just testing it about how, Rudy's story is persistence. Never give up. You seen the movie Rudy? That's Rudy Rudiger. So what's his message? More than anything else, never give up. No matter how small you are, how weak you are, how much everyone tells you can't do it, you'll never get in, you'll never get on the team, then you get on the team, then you'll never play, you should quit. And he's just persistent. I said, Jonathan, you took one no and you said okay and you gave up. He was just testing you. He was going to say no 5 times in his mind. He said, I'm going to say 5 times. I'm going to say no 5 times to any request anyone gives me. And then I'll say yes on the 6th one. So, dude, you gave up. Jerdog is here. Good timing. A little foreshadowing there for Jerdog. So there it is. So just by the change from the plain white to the brown paper envelope, change up the outer mailing that your newsletter is contained in once in a while. It might get attention. If a few of these piled up and I hadn't read them, and then this thing comes, I'm like, oh, what's that? That's something new. That gets my attention. Woo, pattern interrupt, all kinds of fancy terms for it. But the point is, got my attention, thought I'd share that tip with you. So there's another tip for Direct Mail Monday. And finally, look at that timing. Jeremy Jerdog Danley is here. And beneath this live stamp on the top here is the name Jeremy, I assume, Jerdog Danley, because he put me on his mailing list for his month, I assume, a monthly newsletter or monthly mailing. And I assume it's monthly because it says on there October. So I assume, and then I think on the bottom it even says, it said something about how it was, I think somewhere else it said monthly. Maybe it was on the back. But anyway, oh yeah, in this issue. Tells you there's other issues. So let's give the critique. And anyone can get this for free. I'll give you a critique. And Jerdog says, my comic. Right, clearly it's a comic book. Yes, we understand. You're a comic. Sorry, folks. He's a comic. It's his comic book. But in the business, we all know that's called a newsletter. So, but he does it in the form of a comic book, which now he stole my thunder. That the tip is that's a good strategy. So I will critique this because Jerdog asked on an earlier video of Direct Mail Monday, hey, how do I get my stuff to show up there? You send it to me. There it is. Pretty simple. There's one step to getting your direct mail piece critiqued by me for free. Step 1, send it to me. Step 2, that's it. So arrived in the mail while I was out of town. Here it is. So one good point here, 2 live stamps. Not necessary, however, I will let you know, on a see-through mailer, which is another critique. That is another excellent thing to do. For your newsletter or materials that come regularly, that people can glaze out about, not open after a while, you send it in a clear mailer so I can see the table of contents. which I cannot see. But at least I can see enough of, man, I want to open this. So one suggestion, if there is one, and if there isn't, make one up. I would make up a table of contents, and I would put it on the back right here where it says beyond the whatever. So whatever you want to write, squeeze it into up here, write a little less, and then beyond the mic it says, and then you had a good call to action here. Watch my live video blog on Facebook daily at 4:20 p.m. So every day, same day. Unlike me, you know I do these whenever I feel like it, usually at the end of the day. Jeremy does it the same time every day. How cool is that? But I would put on here, inside this issue, it does say, in this issue. What's the matter with me? So in this issue is these two things. And the right, okay, great. So he has it. Okay. So let's rewind the tape and edit that out. And Patricia says, going to take me up on that. Thank you. That's great. And all the viewers, thank you. And Scott is here. Good to see you, Scott. So he does have that. You see, it's just so well done and so seamless that I didn't even notice. That's it. That's just what I said. In this issue, put what's in there to get me to open it. See, now, so suggestion, maybe put this in a different color or something, but I think regularly, since now I will always know, if you keep me on the list, that in this issue, and check it out, he even purposely, I'm believing, misspells issue to get more attention. In this issue, is that make a sneezing sound? Maybe Jeremy who's on here maybe will tell me why the misspelling of the word issue. I know at the very least it gets attention. It also is a good way to weed out, this is not necessarily for direct mail, but misspelling things like in a PowerPoint or forgetting a punctuation purposely will weed out people you don't want to do business with. The people who will complain, like there was a couple of PowerPoint slides out of the hundreds that James Malinchak showed the last 4 days. If you follow these videos, I did them live from LA at James Malinchak's event. And he had a few slides with a couple of typo or a missing letter or something. Like one said, I remember it was like, this way you won't waste time, and he left off the E at the end. And it said, you won't waste time. And sure enough, right on cue, the two dweebs behind me were like snickering to each other. No, look at that. He said wast. What a fool. Like, what? That's great. That's fantastic. So now we know those two people, I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to network with them. I don't want anything to do with them. Nobody does. They're never going to buy anything from James or anyone else. They're complete perfectionist losers. They'll never be successful as entrepreneurs. Like, they just totally remove themselves from consideration of anything. But they will, almost undoubtedly, at the end of the event, gush with praise for how much they learned. And that was an unbelievable amount of information. One reason they'll say that is because they don't get enough information. They don't have a coach. They don't have a mentor. They don't have a mastermind group. They don't. So you can tell the people that gush the most at events over the information are people that are not in mastermind groups. They don't have a high-level coach or consultant because they gush at everything, even the most basic stuff. They don't even watch these videos, right? Okay, so I open it up. So we got a clear wrapper. Fantastic. I can see through it, so it makes me, and in this issue makes me want to open it. Jerdog says, thanks for review. And here, maybe this is the answer here. Misspelling, which check it out. Yeah, I see that. He misspelled the word misspell. You like that? Was accident, but I let it go because good is good enough. It had to go out. No time for a reprint. I don't believe that for a second. Jim is here. Brett Elias here. Great to see you. I don't believe that for a second. Like, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. You have the word issue completely misspelled. One extra. Okay, it's only one extra S. 3 S's. But don't you have in this issue, on every issue, and therefore that always stays the same, and you just change the 2 paragraphs below in the bullet point? Like, you're telling me that every month you type out the word issue, and it's just a typo, then it's fine. And it's smart to leave it. Like you said, I just left it. Good is good enough. Now, that's been on a Wisdom Wednesday, the phrase good is good enough. What that means is good enough. It's really the real phrase is good enough is good enough. What's good enough for your audience is good enough to get it out. So if your audience is perfectionists, I guess you got to make it perfect. For instance, if you're writing an article about, here is the Proofreading Monthly magazine, maybe, yeah, your audience there would want you to proofread it. If you are doing brain surgery, yeah, that's got to be perfect. If you're landing a plane, doesn't have to be perfect, but it better land pretty well. It doesn't have to land even pretty well, but, not crash. Anyone been on a plane, had a bumpy ride in a bumpy landing, like, whatever, it's good enough, like, as long as it lands, right? So here, as long as, whatever he said, he just had to get it out. And Jerdog says, I used to put the in this issue on the cover. Oh, so you used to put the issue here, and this is the first time you moved it to the back, and instead of cutting and pasting it with the right spelling, he typed it over again. Has a typo, the hand lingered too long on the S, whatever. There you go. Enough of that. I agree, though. Leave the typo, because the audience that would like a comic book and a comics newsletter should not really care how things are spelled, right? In fact, they should go a lot further than that. They should not care about his thoroughly politically incorrect jokes and the fact that he just insulted 3/4 of the audience, which includes me, so I shouldn't care. You know, the average person is saying, like, the average person has to not care about a lot of things going on with comics, or else you're going to be a pretty miserable person and you shouldn't show up. So, clear envelope, shows you what's inside, very smart. Live stamps, gives that personal touch, and he hand wrote my name and address on here. Now, Jerry is still on here. Do you do that for everybody? Really? That means you either have a really small list or you're really incredibly personalizing every single one of them. I would think that that normally is a mailing label that just prints out from a printer. But it's very personalized to get live stamps. Notice all the other direct mail I shared from today, none of the rest of it had a live stamp. Neither did the 3 pieces of junk mail that came in my box that went right into the trash without looking at them today, and the 2 bills that came. So nothing had live stamps, but this, that gets attention. Again, not needed on the first of all, for a paid newsletter, not really needed. But second of all, or even on any newsletter that comes regularly, but also on a clear mailer, not necessitated because I can already see it. So I know that it's, you know, I can see whether it's something I want to see. So that is my number one critique for this, is how brilliant it is. Nothing to do again with direct mail, but how brilliant for a comic to not say this is my newsletter or my magazine or here's my bulletin or what. It's my comic book. So it's smaller than a regular size of a newsletter. It's vertical instead of horizontal like I showed you with this is your typical newsletter. Dr. David Phelps with his newsletter to his coaching mastermind clients. You fold it this way. It's 11 by 17, so it's normal. 11, it's 8.5 by 17, 11 by 17 when you open it. 8.5 by 17, fold in half. No, this is comic book, man. Comic book is vertical, and it's colorful, and he's using Comic Sans, for you aficionados of typesetting. That is the font that he's using on the top. So it's a comic font. It's a comic book feel to it. It's Comic Sans again on the back. So, and all this stuff, I think, Comic Sans, right? So, very cool. So, comic book, and then what do you got? Right on the cover, you got a comic strip. So, I mean, come on now, it's fantastic. And then he's showing his personality right there. So again, he's weeding people right out right away. If you were offended by an unshaven, beer-drinking, hat just got out of bed wearing the backwards cap and a polo shirt, raggedy polo shirt on that needs ironing or whatever, then don't go see me, okay? Because that's me. I've never seen your act. Jeremy would come to my, it was a member of my Chicagoland's Sharpest Entrepreneurs group, and would come to our events. There he is again, the disheveled, half-shaven, backwards cap on guy with the wrinkly polo shirt comic. That's Jeremy. So I never went to your show. Unfortunately, now that I've moved way out of the country, I now realize how foolish I am. But I can watch your Facebook Live videos, but not the same, of course, as being in person. But, you know, if you're going to be offended by that, and you can assume, therefore, that might mean there's some offensive language, maybe some offensive topics he's going to cover because he's showing you, I'm all out there. That's me, and I'm going, my shtick is, I am the average, regular guy just like you, drinking a beer, wearing a hat, hanging on my couch, watching TV or watching the news, and I'm going to get up on stage and do the same thing and tell you how stupid that is, and that's ridiculous, and I can't believe they did that, and that's who he is, and he shows that all in one photo, not to mention that his name is Jerdog. So he's even given you a down-to-earth nickname. So this is a down-to-earth, regular guy. And then he's got the comic strip on the cover. He's got a comic strip taping up the whole front page. He's got a one-panel comic on the back. another comic strip on the back cover, inside back cover, and then he's got an offer. Love it. Got an offer form in here at the end, in the back, to request a booking. Call this number, or clip and mail this. I got to ask you, anyone ever clip and mail this? I know you're going to say anyone, but come on. How rarely these days, 20 years ago, everybody, but how rarely these days does anyone who responds choose the method of clip and mail? I mean, they want to call or they want to go to a website. Oh, you don't even let them go to a website. They either got to call or they got to mail it. So you don't even let them go to a website. Interesting. I mean, they can go to the website anyway. You got it all over the place. He's got his social media right here on the bottom. Connect with me. He's got the promo for his Facebook.com Jeremy Danley to watch that video every day. I highly recommend it. I've watched a few. He's hilarious and awesome. And especially for anyone near him, go see him live, of course. But then he has the newsletter part of the comic book. So if you took out the, it's two pages folded and then stapled. If you took out the middle page, it's a black and white, just straight out, just me talking to you. Here's from the desk of Jeremy type of thing. It's a look inside my road journals, personal stories, insights, blah, blah, blah. And he writes a personal story to you. And very smart to not put that in a comic strip or glossy, or it looks very much, it's one-on-one. And he finishes it with God spelled backwards, dog, bless America. Love it, since he's the Jer dog. And then he goes on, and after that opening letter, then he's telling a story here. And then he finishes up with the, hey, you want to book me. So, why is this so fantastic? Well, do you think I might open this next month when it comes? I haven't even looked at them yet, because for time I won't, read them to you, all of it. But like, man, who doesn't like what guy, what male? I know girls got Barbies and stuff, but boys got comic books. And but I would predict that even adult females. So like, hey, Bob is here, great to see you. Patricia or anyone else, Donna, if you're still here. Charles George, great seeing you. Great news. I see your boy's doing great. I see on social media. That's great to see. And so I believe that even women, or at least the right women, which would want to go to a comedy show of Jer Dog, would like to get comic type of things. Why not? Of course. I mean, Kathy and other comics that are women oriented or make millions of dollars for the people that draw them and write them. So very engaging, makes me want to open it always, because I got to see what the comic is, and then I'm drawn into like, hey, now I guess I'll read this whole long letter. However, he's got to convince me every line to read the next line. He's got to keep me engaged. Now, a professional comedian, do you think he can keep his audience engaged? Pretty sure. Otherwise, I'm going to heckle his newsletter here by tossing it midway through. So I predict this doesn't get tossed. It gets read, probably has great pass-along value. I might bring this into work and pass it around. Here's a suggestion based on that, Jer Dog. You might suggest that people get this delivered to their place of work and put in some comedic thing that's much funnier than I could come up with the reason why is because they hate their job and they're always looking for something to do. And so why don't you get this mailed directly to work so your lazy butt is saved from even having to bring it in from your kitchen table to work? Just get it mailed right to work, and this way you have like 15 minutes of goofing off right there. You can thank me later. Now, what'll that do? That'll add tremendously to the pass-along value, my man. That's what you want with these, pass-along value. Very tough for me to pass it along at home. All I can do here is say to my beautiful wife, Michelle, hey, check this out. Remember Jer Dog from our Chicagoland Sharpest Entrepreneurs? Check out his comic book, which of course I'll do. Great, you got one pass-along. Not likely I'm bringing it into work or to my Elks Club, meeting, or my bowling league, or anything else I'm doing. But so encourage people to get this mail directly to where they can pass it along to other people. Very good. And Jer Dog says it helps with celebritization, the comic book. Of course it does. Who else is on the cover of a comic book but a star, a celebrity? So all kinds of great things here. And I won't bore you with getting into reading the actual copy, but I have a feeling it's darn good. He's a professional comedian. And then he's got... right here at the bottom of this comic, another call to action. Bring Jer Dog and friends to your bar or club by calling this number, or now he's got an email. Email jerdog at bdbshows.com. I think that's BDB and not Bob. So you can also follow him on Twitter at The Bar Comic, or YouTube, or Instagram, Facebook. Very good. So I'd have to put my glasses on to read a bunch of this. That's another good lesson. Don't worry about how small you make the print. This teeny tiny print, if people are interested, they will get out a magnifying glass to read it. So I will put on my glasses to read it. Do not be afraid that that's really small print. Don't go, ooh, I better add more pages and more cost, more full color pages especially, and print this really big. First of all, people that need it to read it really big, probably even like me, not likely his target market. He's looking for senior citizens. That one piece I showed you some AARP, and the next I'm going out to see some trash talking, street talking, young comedian. Like, not likely the same target market, although in my case it is, but that's because I grow older all the time. But I absolutely refuse to grow up, but it isn't most people. So I love just about everything about this. Can I think of anything I don't like? Can't think of anything I don't like. I could just think of the few things that I suggest that maybe you could enhance and do better. I also love that he's listed his upcoming events, because I believe, unless this is wrong, this is going to bar owners. Oh, wait, I just realized. This isn't going to people that can go to the show. That's not your audience. What am I doing? Your audience is going to bar owners. Is it not? If you're on here, okay, or something else. Oh, no. You already answered me before I asked, I think. It goes straight to the venues I perform. They leave it on the bar for customers to read. Thank you for the tips. I'll definitely implement. So now, then it adds to the question, why are you mailing only one in, okay, so now you're going to set me off with things I don't like. So now that I know more about it, which is the WOW strategy, right? You got to know about the who. First thing, focus on the who. So here, the who is bar owners. Now that I know this is going to bar owners, whole different story. But now I understand the offers, like book me, here's how to book me, and let me just finish. That's why I like all this, because it shows, hey, my schedule fills up, dude. It's all full here and here, but there's still room to get me for March. You better hurry, because it's going to fill up. So I like putting that on there. Number one, it shows, hey, I'm not the only bar guy that's booking them, so it's not just me. Second of all, this is akin to having testimonials. This is like having a whole page of testimonials, because I'm a bar owner, and you put here, I'm going to be at the Wind Up Lounge in Traer, Iowa on November 18th. Now, this came out in October for those of you coming in late, so no, it's not, he was already there. He was, but not at the time of this printing. Can I go on to google.com and look up Wind Up Lounge, Traer, Iowa, which I assume is Wind Up Lounge and not Wind Up Lounge, because that would be funny. That I could look up I'm going to just call it the Wind Up Lounge. Smelly place. And so I'm going to look up the Wind Up Lounge in Traer, Iowa, and I'm going to call up at 2 in the afternoon when I know I'm going to get the owner, and he's not so busy he can't talk to him on a Monday. He's even sitting in the office doing paperwork on Monday, and I'm going to call him up and go, yo, are you the owner? Yeah. Well, dude, I own the, Laughs a Minute Lounge in Michigan, and I see you had this guy Jerdog Danley in to your club. I see you had him here a couple of times, so that tells me you must be, is it on here? No, it's only on here once. I saw him, and you only had him once. Did you book him again? Was he good? What was the crowd like? Did they drink a lot? Was he funny? Blah, 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 blah. This is like having a whole page of testimonials. Brilliantly done. So now here's the thing, though. What else we got here? And Patricia says, right, so we call that social proof. Okay, that's not proof. It's not a video that you could watch that proves he's funny. It's social proof he's funny. Other people think he's funny. Therefore, he's funny. We call it social proof. Other people say. But he doesn't have to say, other people said this. He doesn't have to say that so-and-so from the Eagles Club in Morganfield, Kentucky loves me. He already said that. It's Eagles Club, Eagles Club, Eagles Club. Right? He's booked over and over at the Eagles Club. So he doesn't have to say that guy loves me or have that guy give him a test. It's clear. Very smart. Now, here's my, and then we'll call it a day, but here's my constructive critique on ways to improve this. So Jerdog says his who is bar owners. He's mailing this directly to a bar. Now, number one, and then he said, and there it's still on the screen. Thank you. Thank you for other people not commenting, because I can only see 2 at a time somehow with this. Oh, wait, I can scroll. Yeah, I can scroll through them. So Thank you anyway for not commenting. Silly, huh? Please comment. And thanks for all the likes, everybody, too. And thanks for being here. So they leave it on the bar for customers to read. Okay, anyone ever been in a bar? You don't have to all answer, but raise your hand at home or just go, yeah, no Shinola, Sherlock, I've been there. Which, by the way, if you watch Jerdog's live video, he won't say Shinola. He'll say the actual word. What else is on a bar? Yeah, liquid, right? Even the condensation, even though the liquid's on the inside of the containers, mug, pint, glass, cup, whatever, does it ever get kind of wet on the bar? Really now? So they're putting a few of these plain paper comic books on the bar for people to read. And how long do you think they last before they're wet? And they got to toss them. So, Jerdog, number one, you got to send more than one. Send them 5 of them. And so first of all, put these out so 5 people at once can read it. So let's picture this, Jerdog. Come on, Jerdog. Have you never pictured this? And tell me if I'm wrong. That this thing comes in, I'm the bar owner, Steve Sipress. It's the Rhino Bar in Scottsdale, Arizona. I go, that comic book from Jerdog, it's hilarious. Let me look at it. Ha, ha, ha. That was funny. Great story. Blah, blah, blah. This is hilarious. I love it. Let's put it out on the bar. Put it out on the bar. How long do you... Now, Joe Blow picks it up, and he reads it, and he starts laughing at this end of the bar. He's laughing. 3 bar stools down is a guy alone drinking at the bar, and he's going, what? And he looks at me and goes, what's so funny? Or he looks at him and goes, what's so funny? And the guy has to say, wait till I'm done, dude, and then you can read it. And the guy goes, well, then I don't give a crap, because I'm only drinking this one beer and I got to go. Or so many reasons why. Why couldn't the answer be, there's a bunch of them right here. Here you go. So you got to send them more than one. If one person is laughing, the other person's going, what you laughing at? Oh, here you go. Let me pass it down the bar. Oops, I passed it down the bar. And what happened when I passed a piece of paper down a bar? It got wet. So number 2, you can't print this on plain paper. Okay, here's one. So David Phelps is printed on glossy paper. More impervious to water. Still not totally impervious, but a heck of a lot more impervious to water than plain white. So at the very least, glossy paper. Okay, maybe even laminate, some kind of really strongly, find out from the printer, like what's really the most waterproof without laminating it, because you know why? He'll go, what are you, that's, more expensive, you're going overboard. Well, Sherlock, I'm delivering these to bar owners who put them on the bar, and the printer will go, oh, well, you should have told me that, because of course anything you're putting on a bar, you would never put paper on a bar. That's going to last 1 customer, and it's gone, and you lost 1,000 customer pass-along value because you sent it on paper, and 1 or 2 customers max before this thing gets soaked, and the guy down the bar can't even read it anyway because he only sent 1. So, couple of hints there, Jerdog. More waterproofing of this thing, and send more copies to the bar and just tell them straight out, hey, and why just on the bar? Don't bars also have tables? Hey, here's 20 of these. Why don't you call it? In fact, how about that? Hey, now, don't you do this. Have an assistant. Go to Fiverr.com if you don't have your own assistant and find someone who does calls. Appointment calls is a good way to find them. And say, here's what I want you to do. Here's a list of 100 bars in Michigan, Minnesota, Indiana, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Washington. Holy moly. Colorado. Damn. Pretty soon you're going to be worldwide. So here's a list of the bars around where I want to go. And, which, by the way, you want to ramp down your travel a little bit. Ramp up your marketing. Ramp up your direct marketing to more bar owners right around wherever you live. And maybe you won't have to go to Illinois one day and Washington State another day and Kentucky and Watertown, New York another day. You're going all across the country. You got, in November 11th, you're in Kennewick, Washington. On December 8th, you're in Watertown, New York. Unless you have family there. So you did it on purpose. Come on now. So that's one way to do it. You can ramp up your marketing in, say, Iowa, or wherever you live within 100 miles, and you will be booked solid and not have to travel. And then you can up your out-of-town rate and say, you want me to travel to Watertown, New York? Do you understand that I only fly first class and I only stay in this hotel and you're going to have to pay this much to get me, blah, 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 because, dude, I am totally booked, and you see it's all here in Iowa. And then you put, like, out-of-state special. Yes, I do travel. Once in a while you throw those in, but, you know, call for the out-of-state rates, of course. Anyway, so where was I? I forget. Must not have been that important, as they say. But anyway, I would say so that's the tips, okay? So send multiple copies, waterproof them a little more. I forget what else I was saying. And Patricia says send a packet. Yes, right, yeah. Send one, maybe you send one, letter, and then you have 10 of just the comic book to put around. Oh, I was saying the tables. Put that. Oh, that. So got it. Remembered now. This is my suggestion for strategy. Hey, Coach Jig is here. Great to see you. And Patricia says I'll be in this state during this month. Yeah, you could put that in the letter. Yeah, right. But here's what you do. You call. You get an assistant. You go on Fiverr.com. You get your assistant to call. You give the list. Here's the 500 bars that I want to get into. Call them up, and that I am in, and call them up and say, hey, Joe, from the Eagles Club in Morganfield, Kentucky, how many tables do you have in the bar? Or, you're already in that one, and you already know. Because, in fact, you're there. Or there are multiple Eagles clubs. Now I got it. There are multiple Eagles clubs, because there's Morganfield, Kentucky Eagles Club, Kennewick, Washington, Centerville, Iowa. I get it. That's likely now how you got booked and Watertown, New York. Got it. So Eagles Club, some kind of chain, and they said, let's book you here and there and here and there. They got several locations. Got it. But still, you call up someone that loves you, and or someone that's a prospect you haven't gotten in yet, and you say, is this Joe Blow, the owner of, the Rhino Club in Scottsdale, Arizona? Great. You've been getting my comic book every month? Yeah. Okay, I just got a question, because I'm now printing extra copies, so that all the people that come into your bar can also read them. Because the bar owners I've been in, people tell me not only am I unbelievably hilarious, and people drink extra much when I'm there at the bar for my show. I pack the place and they drink a lot. But they love the comic book. So I'm going to start sending out enough copies for you to put all over. So how many tables do you have? Oh, I got 16 tables, and then I got the bar. Great. So I predict, some will get wet. Some will certainly take them home and want to take them home and keep them and read them and share them. So I'm going to send you 50 copies. Is that good? Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be in that area, in the town next over on January 12th. Are you full up on January 13th? Blah, blah, blah. Boom. It's a sales call, right? So it starts out as an information call. I'm going to give you a gift. I'm going to send you 50 copies or something. So here's another suggestion. Maybe every month you do this, but you also send 50 copies of an evergreen. You just do it once. A whole 16-page, just nothing but comics for the patrons. Do you do that? Because this is going to the bar owners. I assumed in the beginning it was going to bar patrons, because I'm not a bar owner. I'm thinking, oh, yeah, it's funny. Because I only saw the comics on the outside. Oh, it's funny for the patrons, which would get them to go to the bar owner and go, you want a book? Is this guy coming? I don't see him up on the calendar there, Joe. I don't see that this guy's coming. Why not? Or, certainly if you are coming a month before, you want to litter the place with your stuff so that they're like, oh, I got to show up there. When's he here? Oh, and maybe even a Starburst sticker on the cover saying, I'll be there. Come see me on Thursday, January 13th, here at the Eagles Club in Morganville, Kentucky. Boom. And then it wouldn't be on it'd be on the outside of this. Come see me, boom, in your place, this. And I'm going to send you 100 copies, because they're going to get wet, they're going to take them home, they're whatever, and then I'm going to encourage them. Take this home and pass it out at work. And then tell them your name, and I'll give you $5 for everyone that comes in. Or your first beer is only $1. Go to the bar owner and say, would you give them a special? If they take this to their work and they get 10 friends to show up, you'll give them their first beer for $1. For every friend they bring in, they get a beer for $1 or $1 off or something. Work something out. Do something. Okay, I think that's a good idea. So I would have multiples of these. The ones that I would send to the patrons could always be the same. Every month, Joe, you got how many tables? Great. Every month I'm just going to send you 50. because they'll get used up and wet, and maybe, you change it every quarter. You're a comedian, you can come up with stuff. I'm sure you come up with 100 times more stuff than you can possibly ever put in here. So maybe every quarter, it's a quarterly comic book for the patrons of all these bars. The ones that you're in will come to see you. The ones that you're not in will clamor to the owner, how come this guy's not here? This thing's hilarious. How do I subscribe? How do I get it? And then you let them know. Oh, you don't subscribe. What you do is you go to the owner of that place where you got this, and you say, dude, get this guy Dog in here. Very good. And by the way, if I'm too busy, I'm going to send over another guy who's unbelievably funny, and he's the same type of humor as me, and his name is whatever, and you can book him. And then you contact local comics in those towns, and you let them know, hey, if you're not booked, would you be on my list that I'd give you a gig, and we split a 50-50? Boom! So lots of tips there for Dog. So you think that's good, you ought to see what kind of tips and help I give to my clients. But that's another story for another day. That'll do it for Direct Mail Monday. And Jason has got to go, so do I. Thanks for being here. Dog says thanks for the insight, and hopefully that's not just for Dog. That's hopefully tips. I know it is for everybody. Hope everybody takes these tips, puts them to use in your business, and sure, send me your stuff, because not only will I critique it, but I will likely do what I just did there with Dog, is go above and beyond, like, is it okay if I over-deliver? Because I like to do that. I'll go above and beyond and give you some money-making tips and make you a ridiculous amount of money just by sending me your stuff. And again, I will leave it to you to only imagine how easily and how ridiculous the amounts of money I make for my clients that pay me and that I actually spend a lot of time working with and put a lot of thought into it. So that's it for On the Fly Direct Mail Monday. For live critiques, when I go on Direct Mail Monday, I like to just open it up and run with it. So you see that I haven't prepared this. I didn't write down or look up, read some books on what to say to think. That's it. You get me. And so Patricia says in the consumer version, tell them to tell the owner to get you. I agree. I think I said that a few times, so I do agree. And Dog, thanks for being here. Michael is here. That's the last Chicagoland Sharpest Entrepreneurs Market of the Year is right there. Michael Andrews. Last time I gave the award, when was it, Michael? 2013, maybe? 2014? Right on cue. Speaking of the Chicagoland Sharpest Entrepreneurs Market of the Year, John Bachman is here, who won it twice in 2009 and 2010, I think. And then Michael Andrews won it in 2000, maybe 13 or 14 or something. So great to see the marketers of the year here and everybody else and the non-marketers that want to get into this stuff. It's easier than it sounds. I know, I got all kinds of advanced and complex things going on, but at least you can do something, get started, and have some fun with it. Because there's no more fun you could ever have in your business, and there's no way to make more money in your business than to do effective, fun marketing for the business. Very good. That's it for Direct Mail Monday. I will be back tomorrow with Topical Tuesday, and I have an issue that I just got to rant about. And I'll be doing that tomorrow, and I hope you'll join me then on Topical Tuesday. Thanks, everybody, being here today. I will continue to respond if you put comments in or questions below watching on the replay, and I'll see you back here again tomorrow. Thanks for being here today, and thanks to everyone that sent me their pieces to be the ammunition for today's Direct Mail Monday. Thanks for being here today. Catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.